Previously on Unranked.
I will admit to people at work that I play Walkabout Mini Golf in VR. I will not admit that I played Destiny with you, Tom, and we stayed up till 4 o'clock in the morning to achieve something.
Nothing.
To complete a raid that we didn't actually complete.
Hell
and
yeah.
then I had my wife texting me at 3:30 being like, "Are you fucking serious?"
Hell yeah.
And me saying, "Yes, I am," because I want to get this stupid jacket that I was going to buy from the company.
Which you never would have worn.
But I never would have worn it. I never would have worn it. Okay? And then to only later that week beat it, right, from a checkpoint, only to find out that because we didn't complete part 3 previously, we still didn't qualify for the jacket.
That's
okay?
sick.
So I will... All right? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hello and welcome. It's the 462nd episode of the Unranked podcast. This voice you're listening to is Christian Humes.
Hi.
We also have Alex Tuna Marinello.
Hello.
And the one and the only Thomas Grace Caswell.
Grace.
Isn't that your middle name?
No.
I wonder where I got that from.
Wait, seriously? Is this something?
Tom's about to confuse himself into something.
Well,
Okay.
I'm confused. I'm like, are you making a joke, or did you actually think that was my middle name?
Oh man, that's the $1 million question, Tom. That's the $1 million question. Anyway, it's 462nd episode of the Unranked podcast.
What is going on?
We're here to talk
very
about a Pokemon.
confused.
I'm in a weird mood. We're here to talk about a Pokemon.
Yeah, it's a weird time.
Let's get to it. We've got another evolution of a previous generation Pokemon today. We have a third
mama.
and final stage. So we had Magneton turns into Magnemite,
No.
which now turns into
No,
Magnezone.
You got it wrong.
This thing.
Oh,
You got it
whoops.
wrong.
Sorry.
You want to start over?
Magnemite to Magneton to Magnezone.
This thing is up. Huh.
Thoughts?
Yeah, I hate it. It looks like a
Interesting.
UFO.
You hate it.
Yeah.
It looks like a UFO. It doesn't really make
I
any
think
sense.
it's
They fucking
so much cooler than the previous one, where
Oh.
it's literally just 3 of them stuck together.
Well, that's the Pokemon way. Stick them together.
I like this as the UFO. You know, like you got the magnets, it's levitated. Like I think that someone looked
Nah.
at the previous gen Pokemon and went, "Well, this doesn't make any sense. How
It
can
looks
we
like-
how can we add something to this so
It
that
looks
it
like
looks
you
like
stuck 2 pie tins together. It looks like you stuck 2 pie tins together and put some magnets on it. Is what it looks like. And don't even get me started on the shiny. Don't even get me started.
I'm gonna quote Tuna here. They ruined it.
They ruined it.
I'm looking
Really?
I'm looking at Magnezine right now, and this is a charming fucking design.
Yep.
I think that
Are
the
you-
fact that it is just
it's so stupid.
it's just 3 Magnemites stuck together.
No.
Like it's what? That's what it is.
It's
Yeah.
so bad.
No.
No, I like it. It's classic.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
This is an underrated Pokemon design. I'm gonna say it right now.
Yeah.
I bet if I went back to 82, right?
What?
I go to Pokemon 82, I go to
I'm looking
episode
at it right
82
now.
unranked.
Oh.
Tuna's gonna be like,
I was
Stupid.
younger
Let's
though.
put 'em
I was
together.
younger.
Wait,
I was
wait,
younger.
wait. Can we
more stupid.
do that? You
I'll
can
do it later. I'll do it later.
He'll do it
Okay.
on the previously on.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hold on,
We'll
let
check
me
in.
just
I'll report back. All right.
report
Well,
back
yeah.
on that.
It looks like a UFO. It's designed after a UFO. That's clearly what they're going for here.
Right.
It's got two. It's not just a single UFO, like Alex said, like a
No,
plate.
It's 2 pie tins stuck
It's not
together.
No, because it's got the ends.
What?
It's got the ends. It's got the shoulder pieces. So it's
Yeah,
it's
so
actually
someone-
six.
Man,
It's
You know what
six
this
pie
looks
tins.
like?
It's
You
two
know what
small
this-
pie tins on the
no,
sides,
no,
top
no.
and bottom,
You know what this?
and then
You know what
two
this
in the
looks
middle.
like? This literally looks like a child designed their own Pokemon, and they had to bring it in, right? And they had to and they had to bring it in, and they had to
I don't
they had
know.
to make it at home, and they had to bring it in. That's what this looks like. It looks like the top looks like it's probably yellow pipe cleaner. Okay, that's what it looks like.
I mean,
This-
the
this
top is a
Pokemon-
Sorry piece.
What?
It's the game piece from Sorry.
Oh, it
Oh,
is.
okay.
Yes, the antenna.
Yeah.
I it's fine, you know, like if I'm being but I just feel like I am looking at it and it's not necessarily this design.
Yeah.
It is what this design stands for, and it is the I think we've started to run out of ideas.
Do you know what it also looks like? You see how it's got that flat thing going all the way around it? It looks like one of those like vacuum sealed plastic things when you buy electronics, right? And you have to try to get your scissor in there to open it. That's
Yeah.
what this looks like.
Oh,
That's what this looks like.
Okay.
This is a dumb Pokemon. And the shiny.
I think I've never been more split with you guys before.
Woo!
I think in comparison to its previous Pokemons, it's the best
Dude,
Dude,
version.
this looks like a
Shiny.
piece of junk.
So do the other ones.
This looks
The
like
other ones
someone,
look-
this
the
looks
other
like
ones-
something you'd find in the
I've got
junkyard.
no problem with
the
its
other ones
junk-like
literally look
quality,
like something
for
I
the
could find
record.
in the junk drawer of my toolbox.
This
Like,
looks like
100%.
This looks garbage.
No, because this at least
What do you mean, no?
represents a different thing as a UFO, whereas the other one is just
No.
fucking like nuts and a magnet.
Nuts in a That's all you need. That's what it is.
God, man, I'm just like looking at the the sprites for these like later games. Like I'm looking at the Legends Arceus, and I'm just like, we've just lost our way. We've really just
Like,
lost
do you
our way.
understand?
Yeah.
Do you understand how stupid it is that it has a magnet on the back as if it's a tail? Like that is so dumb. It is dumb. This
If
is
you
a
say
dumb
so.
Pokemon. This is a dumb dumb.
The only
But
thing
it's
that would
got
make this
other
Pokemon
attributes.
better
So what else have we
is
got?
if it had a Mega Evolution. I want
Mega
even more magnets on it.
Well, this is what it does feel kind of like the Mega of Magnetism.
It does feel
does.
like a Mega.
It just needs to be bigger though.
I mean, it
Or
is
like
pretty big.
what if it was one giant orb, like one of the Magnemites, but it was one, but it just
Wait.
had magnets all around it, forming like a big ball outer shell.
Alex, you know this Pokemon's
Crazy.
big, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking like
Go down to the
big.
manga. Go down to the manga, right? Where it
Bigger
says
the
in the
better,
manga.
baby.
And
How
look at
much
that
the
image.
weigh?
Look at the man
400
standing
pounds.
on his Magnezone.
Yeah. But when
It's a
we're
ship.
talking, it's a skateboard. It's a
No,
hoverboard.
that's not skateboard size.
That's a
big-
hoverboard.
That's jet ski.
That's it.
Top to bottom,
Alright.
it's half the height of this dude. It's like 4 feet thick. It's probably 6 feet long, 4 feet thick. That's a jet ski.
Also, what is the point? Right? What is the point of the two
That's
eyes
fucking-
on either side?
on his
Right? Like
shoulders?
the eye in the
whatever.
middle. The eye in the middle is seeing
Yeah.
everything. You don't. Actually, the eyes on the side.
I'm
are being
sorry.
obscured.
I'm sorry. You have 2 eyes, right?
Go on.
Close one. Do you see more or less?
No. He
No,
doesn't.
no.
No. Because he doesn't.
No, no,
Because
no,
the
no.
eye, the field of view of that eye
Yeah.
is doing it. Right. The
It's
other
not
two
though,
eyes
because the other ones
being
are
obscured.
off to the side.
No, and they're being obscured. Either side is they can't look to the side. They can only see one side.
No.
It's looking.
I'm
half
telling
of
you,
his
this
field-
guy's
half
this
of his
guy's
view is looking
got
at
more
at himself.
He's got more view because it's set back farther, so he can see things off to the side.
He
that the front one
can't though
see.
because his eyes are looking forward, and if he looks at his periph, half his periph is half his
His
body.
periph.
This Pokemon is going down. Whoa.
I'm telling you right now,
Yeah.
I'm teasing
Yeah.
a couple of Pokemons ahead.
Yeah.
Because
What
this
are you
is
doing?
a string
Well,
of
let's-
evolutions.
Let's get into the
We're in
etymology.
a string of evolutions
Tom,
here
Tom,
that
we
are
don't
just
have Tom,
awful.
Tom, we don't have time for this.
Let's talk
So
about.
Magnezone.
Oh, I mean, the next one's the best Pokemon of the generation. No, okay.
Magnezone may be derived
Magnezone.
from magnetic zone, an alternative name for a magnetic field.
And magnesium.
Yeah. That's all it has. It's actually a lot
Magnezo.
on this, but there's a lot of stuff on this Pokemon.
Yeah.
I had a round of ammo for a gun, but I dropped it on the middle of my leg.
A mag, the knee,
Oh,
and
zone. What would
yeah.
zone be? And then, yeah, well, we'll come
Or
up
you
with
could do
that
one.
last bit later. Oh, Magnezine one.
Magnesium or magnesium. Magnesium one.
I
Magnezine
dropped
one.
that part of
Anyway,
the gun on that part of my leg
Yeah,
less than
there you
two
go.
times.
There you go. Great.
less,
Less than two times.
and there's a
Fuck.
Z in the middle.
Yeah, we're really, really
Oh,
cooking them up
knees.
hot today.
Okay, here it is. Here it is.
Magnezones.
Okay, here it is. Here it is.
Yeah.
I dropped the round of ammo on the middle of me leg, but it's spelt as if we're in
What? No, you
Clueless
can't
in the 90s and there's two of them.
Yeah.
Like you write it with a Z at the end. And
Yeah.
then, yeah. Anyway,
Hell yeah.
All right.
Pokemon
There it
Scarlet says as it zooms through the sky, this Pokemon seems to be receiving signals of unknown origin while transmitting signals of unknown purpose.
Right.
Real detailed and unambiguous
Can I
information.
also just, I mean, the Pokedex entries are so dumb because
Sometimes they're good.
none of this happens in the game.
I know. Oh, don't get me started.
Like
Yeah.
none of this happens. Like
Yeah.
receiving signals from space, put that in the game.
It drives me mad.
Put
Yeah,
that
100%.
in the game. That would be cool.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more.
You catch your you evolve your Magnezone into whatever. You evolve your
use them as a
Magnezone.
skateboard, yeah.
Legends Arceus, I think, actually has some of the best
Agreed.
details for the Pokénotes because the way they talk about them is less. Well, for instance, I theorize that a special magnetic field influences Pokemon, changing its molecular structure and causing it to evolve. It emits strange radio waves towards space from its antenna. All things that you wouldn't be able to see it do. Like, you know, it's just like it's just telling you how the Pokemon functions.
That makes more sense than the other bullshit going on.
I still can't believe that Arceus, like I was so into it and I just like could not vibe with Gen 9. It was what a weird turn of events that was. Anyway.
Yeah, especially with Gen 9's better. Tony.
Tuna didn't even play any of Gen 9, did you?
No, the internet turned me off to it.
Yeah.
Got totally turned off.
I'll never, I mean, look, I think Legends Arceus is interesting, but I just find collecting the same Pokemon over and over and not really battling to be a lot more boring.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm in it for the battles, even when they're easy. I at least feel like I'm doing something and not just throwing Pokeballs.
Yeah, I think it totally depends on. Yeah, no, I've always been gotta catch them all more on that side of things than I ever cared about battling in Pokemon. But that's just a personal thing. Anyway, where are we putting it?
I think it's 50. Better than Bronzor.
50?
Oh, I was saying 64.
Oh, perfect. Good with that.
Hang on, I gotta look.
I'm good with that.
Bronzor. Oh yeah, it is. Yep, that is a great place to put it. Now, I'm curious, Chris. Are you saying that conceding and bargaining in your head with us, or would
I don't really like this Pokemon. I was trying to see if I could convince you.
Gotcha.
I kind of don't give a shit about this Pokemon.
That's hilarious. It's so good. All right, there we go.
I still do believe it's better than its evolution, but I think its evolution is one of the worst Pokemon in. So you know, it's a little column A, little column B, I guess. You know.
Yeah. The numbering on this is all wonky for me. Why is that?
Well, that happened to me one time. Then it fixed itself.
All right. Cool.
What's up? What's going on? What's happening?
Nothing. Been playing a lot of Indiana Jones. I'm up to the last area. The very last area.
Have you
interestingly encountered a bug?
Oh no.
Where I was not able to complete a mission.
A side quest. Not even side quest, so like
a side thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, not even a
A
quest. Just like a
collectible.
collect. Like I had to
Yeah.
collect 4 things, and I collected 3 of them. All went fine. On the last one that I had to turn in, I put what I collected down
Yeah.
for another character to look at. However, that character did not react, did
I
not
don't think
look
you
at
have to
it.
worry about spoilers here. Tom is in this area, in the second
Yeah,
area already, right?
but people listening.
Yeah, but it's not a spoiler.
Okay, whatever. I had to collect radio transmission frequency notes that I had to give to Gina to use the radio to find 125 bot, right? In like a cache in like a box that
That's
she'll
a
mark on the.
currency for anyone listening.
Well, I thought they played.
Well, in
So,
case they don't,
all right. So I turned in 3 of them.
because it sounds like an astrobot when you say bot. If they don't know that that's a currency.
BAHT. BAHT. So I turned it in, right? You have to put it down on a crate
Oh,
next
it
to the
does.
radio.
With the number. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Turned in. She picked it up, marked my map. Second time, same thing. Third time, same thing. Fourth time, put it down. She reacted. She didn't move towards the card. She said, "Oh, thanks, Jones," but didn't go over to the card, didn't pick it up, didn't look at it, didn't mark my map, and I still have 3 out of 4 radio frequencies. I don't have the frequency in my inventory anymore,
Yeah.
and it's literally sitting still on the same crate, and I
Yeah.
have quit the game, done another mission, moved around, whatever.
Yeah.
From my internet research, it sounds like the devs are aware of this and they will be fixing it at a later time, but that just means I will not be able to 100% this game until such time as that happens, as
Yeah.
I have 100%ed everything else up
Okay.
to this point. So I am in the last area doing the last stuff.
Wow.
Um, so this
I'm
is it.
excited to
It's a
hear what
great,
you think
yeah,
about the
again,
final mission because it's
it's a
pretty
great
sick.
game. It's a great game. There's going back on it now, I definitely do understand some of the frustrations or complaints that people had with the third region being uh more
Water.
difficult
It's
to
water based.
traverse. Yeah, it's water based, so it's more difficult to traverse than the Vatican and Giza, which were easy that you could just run around and stuff. But at the end of the day, that's the area,
Yeah.
right? So it works. And it's still good. I mean, I
Yeah.
get the complaint about it though. It does get frustrating sometimes. And
It didn't get frustrating enough for me to be like, this is detracting from the game. But there were
well,
just a
it's
handful of
slower.
times where I was like, I just want to move a little faster.
Yeah, it's slower.
Yeah.
You're moving slower.
Yep.
Um, and what's interesting, you could argue, you could
Just
say
give me a
something like,
faster boat.
or just like, why can't I just pick a spot? Like, why can't I, like, if I'm stuck in the water,
Yeah.
or if I'm in the water or somewhere else, or I'm just deep in a temple collecting something,
Yeah.
right? Like, why can't I just go to the map, select a place I want to fast travel to, boom, you
Sure.
put me there, done,
Sure. Yep.
right? Little things like that. However, it's still I forget where I put this, third or second on my games of the year of 2024. It's excellent. I'm excited if they're going to make another one to jump into that one again. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I
So
mean,
other than
we're
that,
getting DLC.
that's it.
We're getting the
Oh,
Order
okay.
of the Giants. What have you like actually started the final area, or did you stop once you got up to it?
Say that one more time.
The final area, like, have you done anything
No,
or
no, 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 no.
okay?
I've just sat through
Cutscene was great.
and then it was like ready to go, and then
Oh
I
yeah,
turned off.
great, awesome,
Yep. Yep.
love it.
Yep.
Cool. Tom, have you made any headway in this game?
I have put it on pause because I'm also waiting for them to patch out this Gina bug. It is making it very difficult to enjoy the game. I have
What
also
Gina
tried
bug?
her repetitively talking.
Oh,
She won't stop breaking her that dialogue, that video I shared.
yeah.
She says that every 5 seconds that
Oh my
she's
God.
in a thing with you. And you know what's really funny
Yeah.
is when sometimes you'll leave her so she won't be with you.
Yeah.
But sometimes like you'll meet up with her, and
Mhm.
as you get nearer, it gets louder.
Oh wow.
So it's like starts really quiet, and then the closer you get, it's a little edit. I'm just
That's a
like,
persistent bug you had?
yep,
Oh, weird.
it is not there. It's currently a bug that some people have had, and
Yeah.
it
Actually,
hopefully
you know what?
I'm
I
waiting
bet
There,
to
these
get
little
it patched
bugs
out.
would be polished if this didn't release right before holiday. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
Yeah, it would have been a cleaner.
yeah.
It totally would have been a cleaner
I had
game,
the
and
same thing happen to me where Indy would say the line, like a line from a different mission, if we went to a different area. He would be like, "Oh, Voss isn't using that for, you know, isn't bribing people with that." So he would say the same line. I'd be like, "That was ages ago. Fuck you talking
Mm.
about?"
Yeah, just it like just didn't trigger for whatever reason, and then it decided to trigger later.
And it just kept anytime he went to a different area, like if he,
Huh.
like if I did fast travel, or if I did close the game and then re-up the game, load in, and he would just say the
There
line.
must be
You know,
like
like,
some condition applied to some of these lines that like it just gets stuck,
yeah,
which is a funny thing. I'm lucky I didn't run into that. I ran into the bug that
sucks.
you have, but it's self-resolved for me. And then I ran
yeah,
into one other one, which I also was able to just resolve by just leaving and coming back, and then it fixed
Mm.
itself. But
yeah.
I mean, this is why it wasn't my game of the year. It could have been my game of the year if
Mm.
it was completely polished, but because it has bugs, not necessarily game-breaking bugs, but bugs that take the game from being like, wow, what an experience, to like, wow, this is a nuisance.
And that's the thing is like there's not the game isn't massive, right? Like even to
No, it's not.
100% everything, it's
Yeah.
not a crazy amount of time.
Yeah, I
No.
That
think it's
I'm
like 16 hours maybe it took me, 18 hours, something like
to
that.
100% or just complete
Yeah,
the. Oh,
to like
okay, cool.
100% it.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
I think
super quick
mainlining
then.
it, it's
Okay.
like a 10 to 12 hour game. If you
Yeah,
just
it's
do the
pretty
main
short.
story missions, it's
Yeah.
pretty short. And then,
So
yeah, I think less than 20 hours for
Actually, I
sure.
was surprised on how I didn't like I did a Sukhothai mission without realizing that it was going to be the last one. And like I
Oh,
went to the next area and I was like, "Wait, what the fuck?" So
that
then I
last
went
mission's
back
wild.
because then the last the last mission was great in Sukhothai, but then it was just like, "Oh, we're here in the next place." And I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute. I don't want to be here yet. Like I still have a ton of shit to do back at the like there was no which is interesting because right, I feel like before that in the Vatican in Giza, I was kind of told this is this is it. We're gonna be leaving after this. Maybe I missed it.
at least the Vatican had a set piece that was very like clear that we were transitioning to like that was going to be it.
Yeah.
Mm.
I feel like if you think about the context of that last mission, it's pretty similar to at the kind of stakes that were in the other ones, to where it feels like, all right, we're popping off. This is the final one. But yeah, there was no
Mm.
heads up. But because you can just return to any area, I guess like the game doesn't necessarily even
Yeah, it's
need
not
to
huge.
tell you
Yeah.
that. But that is true. It didn't
But
outright tell you that.
it would be, I guess, like I don't. Yeah, I would rather have something where they could feel like, okay, this the story beat of this level is going to transition to the next space, because then you'd have to come up with a reason for like why you're still in that area, and you're like, oh, but just got to clean up gotta do a couple of things before we go like hunt the
Yeah.
Nazis down. There's shit in RP. As you noted, I played a lot of RPGs this year, and it's just so funny how the ways in which these games make excuses for the characters to like it's okay for you to go do side quests, and they have to figure out like story reasons why. It's like, oh well, we can just wait for this thing to happen.
All right. How long to beat has it way longer for completionists, but I don't think it took me that nearly as long as they're saying. Because they're saying
Wait,
it
what?
takes like over 30 hours to get 100%.
That's what I had heard, but
I don't
yeah.
think that's true at all. I would.
Mm.
There's no way it
This,
took
the,
me
the
that
game
long.
the game save will tell you. I
No, it
think
won't,
it
because
has
I
good
just
time.
leave it on.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're
The
saying.
game save thinks I've played it for like 5 days.
That's hilarious.
And considering I beat it in like a week, that's not true at all.
Mm.
Uh,
Mm.
the two things I want to talk about super quick.
Yeah.
Because yeah, me and Brooke have just been playing Path of Exile is really the main. Other than that, and getting some dailies in Fortnite, that's what we've been playing, and we hit a point where, because it's early access with this game, where there are some bugs, some really annoying bugs, and to the point where I thought, oh, we will put this down and we'll come back later to it. But I've been enjoying it so much, and we've been enjoying playing together. I'm really glad that Brooke is gravitating toward it and like enjoying it, and like, and she's been the thing of like, do you want to play our game? She asked
Our
that right up.
game.
She was like, yeah. She's
Wait,
like,
so
do you
what is
want
the name
to
of this? What is this game?
Path of Exile 2? It's a Diablo like
Oh,
type style game. The boss that we fought last night was so sick. We were in the realm of the Titans or something it's called. And remember in the final shape when you would there was the part of the inside, spoilers if you didn't play Final Shape Destiny 2, inside the Traveler there's an area it's like Zavala's house with the smoke, which was the cool. I loved that part of
yes, I do remember that
the
actually.
map. And you're walking through the tunnels and it's Zavala's face like screaming, and it's all like mismatched and stuff. So that is the area we're in, where it's like stone titans all around us, like forming the walls, like kind of a little bit like Titans from Attack on Titan. And at the very end, you're fighting this massive one, and you're on a platform, and so it's like leaning on it, and it's like swiping at you with its arms, and it has like this laser beam from its eyes, and it was so sick. And there is nothing. Diablo doesn't do anything like that. The latest one, 4 at least. And the cool thing is that the game also doesn't it doesn't minimize your abilities during those fights in the way that Diablo does. For example, I am playing a monk that does a lightning and ice damage. And if I do enough ice damage and I can spec my character to increase it and all this and how much it freezes them, I'm able to freeze the boss in place. So there was this point where it was like going to stab us with this like broken dagger it has, and I froze it in place. And in Diablo, it nerfs all of those things for you when you're fighting bosses. Like you're not able to affect them in the same way that you can like the hordes and the mobs that you face, on the reg. You aren't able to freeze the bosses in Diablo if you have the abilities that do that. And so it's just been a lot of fun for us, and enjoy it quite a bit. And if you are playing Diablo 4, if you're out there listening now, and you're out there playing Diablo 4 and you've been interested in Path of Exile, I think it is the story it's telling. The world is way more interesting. The area. So there's a hub. There's 3 acts in the early access version, and each one has a hub area. The hub area in Act 2, where we are, is a traveling caravan of like nomads, and it is being pulled. They have prisoner like criminals and stuff. They have them pulling the caravan, and it's just these platforms on wheels, and it makes this like small little village area, and it's really fucking cool. And you on the when you want to go somewhere, like the caravan takes you, and it's like you're on this pilgrimage kind of thing. It's very, very cool. I think that it's one you should check out if you're a Diablo 4 fan. And then other than that, the one thing that we really did this week was we went to go see The Brutalist, which is the
I want to go see
Adrian
that.
Brody vehicle for fans of cinema. I guess we'll see at the end of the year, where if you go see it, Chris, where it would end on your list of things you saw this year. But I loved it. I thought it was incredible. I think Adrian Brody he's going to win
Film
the
of the
Oscar.
year. Film of the year.
I mean, it won Best Drama at the Golden Globes. Adrian Brody won for Best Actor, and the director won for Best Direction. It's by the guy who did Vox Lux with Natalie Portman. in like 2018. If you ever saw the trailer for that, I saw the trailer for
I
it
never
quite a
saw
bit.
that.
It's essentially the story is Adrian Brody plays a Jewish immigrant during the war coming to America, and it's basically the story. And um, he's an architect, and in brutalism, it's not a real story, but this character is like based off of these brutalist artists, a couple of them from this time, and comes to America, and it's his life story, and it really does. It spans years and years and years of his life. It's a commentary on the immigrant the story, on top of it's hard to get into, and it's a weird movie in a lot of ways, but I do think it tells a very human story, and I think that Adrian Brody in particular, the whole cast is really good, but he's going to get the Oscar. He's going to deserve that Oscar. Um, and yeah, if you're a fan of cinema, and I watched it on a 70 millimeter print, and
Oh,
I've seen a couple of prints. You'll probably have a place near you. In fact, probably the one
probably.
at Universal, because
Yeah,
that's the
probably.
only place I could see Oppenheimer when I was in LA on 70 millimeter. Granted, it was at the end of its run, but um, and I'll say this: I've seen now multiple film prints. This was the best experience, the most value I feel I got out of
Really?
it.
Have you seen Interstellar 70 millimeter print?
That is the only one that I'm like, I
Because
have
that
not
is
seen. Yeah, I feel like that is the one for me as well, because I love that
that
film.
was that was the first time I ever saw it. And when I came out of the movie, I
Oh
was
my
like,
god.
Tom, I was like, he did it. He did it again. I think it's the best
Dude,
thing he's ever made.
I think it's up there. I think people criminally overrate Inception, and they criminally underrate Interstellar, even
Yep,
though
absolutely.
people adore Interstellar. Yes, I will caveat this: I have not seen Interstellar 70 millimeter. This was shot on something that's called VistaVision. So instead of it was filmed on film, obviously, and instead of a vertical loading. So the way that it would work is you'd have a spool of film on top, and then it spools to the bottom half of
Yeah,
this like two cylinder thing. Instead of shooting that way, it shoots horizontally, and the tape is then filmed horizontally and
got
photographed.
it.
So it's the amount of, if you think of a film strip,
Yeah,
usually it's you know not parallel, perpendicular in terms of the the way that it's filmed. And so if you remember on a film strip, it has like perforations, and basically like 70 regular like 35 millimeters, like 3 perforations deep, but this Vista print is like 8 because it goes
it's
sideways.
so. Oh, okay,
And the reason that they shot that way was because it gives there's less lens distortion at the edge of the
got it.
camera, and it's closer to actual still photography, specifically still photography of like if you're shooting architecture, like a 50 millimeter lens on a still camera. And so it gives this like it's unbelievable. If you can see it in 70 millimeter, it's 100% worth it.
Hell yeah.
100%. And there's an intermission because it's 3.5 hours.
Is there really? There's an
That's
intermission?
really long.
There's an intermission baked into the movie, and so there's a 15-minute intermission.
What do you do?
What plays during the intermission? Yeah,
It's so there's a plot point toward the end of the first act about a old photograph, and so the intermission is that photograph, and then it has a timer on it for
I
like
see.
and it counts down 15.
Got
What
to
did
worry
I
about
do?
burning though.
I pissed. Well, you don't have to worry about burning on a film
No, but when you end up
projection.
streaming this at home,
Oh yeah.
they might just
Um,
remove it or drop it down to like 30 seconds for at home.
it's only they might remove it, yeah. But I pissed, and Brooke was feeling for a little sweet treat. So I got a box of Milk Duds and a bag of peanut
Wait,
M&Ms.
Joe Alwyn is in this movie?
Who's that? Who does
Taylor
what character?
Swift's ex-boyfriend?
What does his role say?
I don't
What's
know.
the name on the
It
roll?
just says he's in it.
This is unbelievable timing what you've done, because I was just looking for my soundboard so that I could break, because Tom brought up snacks, sweet treats, and then you happen to mention Taylor Swift, which is weird because I was going to press this because I've got a snack here that is Taylor Swift's favorite snack, and so I was like, well, I got to try this.
Okay.
What is her favorite snack?
They're called
Smarties Squishables?
Squishies, Smarties Squishies.
Oh.
I gotta tell you.
Smarties?
I gotta tell you.
American Smarties?
Actually, so I think that she first had these in the UK. So I think
Smarties are not.
Look, I don't know what to tell you, Tom.
A UK food.
I don't know what to tell you, but these
in the UK. Yeah,
these are very good. They're very good. They're soft. They're almost they're harder and firmer than a marshmallow, but they're closer to a marshmallow in consistency than, say, a gummy candy. You know those like gummies? You know the like gummies that are like the solid color that have like, they're not like, you can kind of bite through them easier than the like clear gummies. It's closer to that. It's kind of like that consistency is what I would say. These things,
like a jelly bean.
Mm-hmm.
Not
but
a
it's
jelly
soft.
bean. A jelly. What the fuck do we have in England? Jelly Teddy. What am I thinking of?
The budget for this movie is only $9.6 million.
Yeah, they shot it on the cheap. Jelly Teddy.
These are good, man. Smarties Squishies. Check them out.
Jelly babies. That's what we call them.
So Brooke, what sweet treat did Brooke get?
Milk Duds.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of Milk Duds.
You know, I'm usually not either, but I think it was. I forget what it was.
Wait, she double dipped chocolate?
What do you mean double dipped chocolate?
She got 2 chocolates.
Yeah, I got us some Milk Duds and some peanut M&Ms, and it was like, oh, have a little pick and mix.
I feel like if I was gonna have 2 things from the candy shop at the movie theater, I wouldn't pick 2 chocolates. I would pick a chocolate and I'd pick something else.
Like a gummy?
Yeah. Like a Skittle.
I just don't think we're in the mindset.
I gotta be honest with you. I cannot have like chocolate and sweets together.
I think I'm like that too.
I mean, I typically would get, if I get anything,
unless it was like
right.
If
I get a candy, I typically will always have I typically get popcorn. I don't usually get candy, but if I get candy, it's in addition to popcorn. I'm not doing 2 candies, but if I did 2 candies, I don't know what I would double dip on chalks.
Double dip.
I like Bunch of Crunch. I like popcorn and Bunch of Crunch.
Bunch of Crunch.
Is my way to.
I like Bunch of Crunch. I only ever buy Bunch of Crunch at the movie theater. No,
yeah, who else? Who's buying Bunch of Crunch at home?
I like fucking Walgreens.
You go into Tuna's house. He goes, "Yo, you want something to eat? Yeah. Oh, how about some Bunch of Crunch? Like that would be really weird."
Bunch of Crunch also a fantastic. I don't know how you guys feel about like pouring like chocolate or something, a candy into a popcorn, but I imagine a Bunch of Crunch with a piece of popcorn would be pretty good.
I like to, I can eat them, like I can have one and then have the other. I don't want to have them necessarily at the same time, but I wouldn't want to put it into the popcorn because I don't want to just further make the experience of my hand being gross from the popcorn even worse by adding chocolate onto that because it's going to melt.
Right.
So I don't want the melted chocolate on my hand is where I'm at with that. That's why you got to get you can go with the M&M. Melt in your mouth, not in your hand. Put the M&Ms.
God, I love the peanut M&M. That's the thing.
Peanut M&M.
And it was more, the Milk Dud thing was just grabbing for.
You don't have to make excuses for her. She's weird. It's fine.
No. I was the one that picked. I picked them out. I went to go buy us these things. She asked for a sweet treat.
I take it back. I like Milk Duds. I don't like Whoppers. I was thinking of Whoppers.
Oh.
I do not like Whoppers.
The malt balls. I love a
Yes.
chocolate malt ball. Have you had Maltesers before, Chris?
No, I haven't. Are
You
they
should give
better?
them a
Because
go.
the thing
Yeah, they're
about the
way
Whopper is
better.
that they're almost like chalky. Like I don't
No, no,
like
no,
the
no,
inside.
no. That is, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Not a problem with the
Okay.
Malteser. Not
Because I
a
like a malted
problem at all.
milkshake. I enjoy that flavor. The malt isn't the issue with the Whopper. It's the whatever that's the crunchy cookie, like whatever that dry fucking shit that the malt is wrapped around is not good. Is it supposed to be like a cookie? Like I don't even know what that is.
Yep. I don't know.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Chris, an uneventful couple of days for you, I feel.
Tom, it was insane. The last few days have been nuts.
I wonder if people are curious if you're on this week.
Yeah, so I live in LA, in case you don't know. I'm in the valley. So there are essentially fires all around
His
me.
address is.
Like I'm in the valley, so we're surrounded by
Yeah.
hills and mountains. And at this point, all of them are or have been on fire in the last 48 hours. Luckily, all of them have been, 10 to 12 to 15 miles away. Like the very large Pacific Palisades or the Eaton Fire over at Altadena and Pasadena area are both 12 miles in opposite directions, like very far away. We are finally, and if you remember when I did that geography of Los Angeles, and I
Dude,
talked about the
I've been
basin.
thinking about this thing. Chris, I've been thinking about that fucking presentation all the time the last couple of days. I'm like, fuck, like it's fucked.
Yeah, we're
It
trapped.
really is fucked.
Well,
Yeah.
the valley is interesting because we're both like if the fires broke out into the valley, it would be very bad because
Yeah.
you're trapped. Like right now, there are fires. Like there's a fire to the north, two fires to the west. There's a fire to the east, and the fire to the south, which is the Hollywood one, which happened last night, which has now been mostly like it's like the majority contained and a lot of it's put out. So that was south of us, and that was the one that was scary because that one is 2 miles south of me, and the evacuation order when that went up last night was a mile away. So like I could see the line like very close to like my house on the map. So like we were last night preparing to evacuate. And let me tell you right now, the whole does this bring me joy nonsense of like getting rid of stuff and not hoarding things and like Marie Kondo. That thing doesn't work. That thing's never worked for me. I'm like, you're trying to go through things, right? To like get rid of stuff and you look at stuff and you say like yes, I enjoy this. Like I won't get rid of that. But when you are like I have to pack my car and just under the assumption that anything I don't bring with me will be burned
It's
to the
gone.
ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very interesting how much I've realized that I don't give a shit about the majority of stuff that I own.
Yeah.
Almost all of this stuff, don't give a fuck. I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck. Like I was just like I was like, do I take my? I was like, fuck my lightsabers, and then I was like, actually,
You know what's interesting? I
want the one that I built.
didn't want to be insensitive, but I did want to text you and be like, so were the lightsabers in the car at
Yeah.
midnight?
Yeah.
Or no?
Yeah. No, so
And, like,
so here's
the
what-
other question I had was like, so like were your lost memorabilia stuff in
Sure.
the car as well? Like
the
like, I
lost
wanted
bag,
to
the lost
have all
bag
this
would
stuff.
have been thrown in the car for sure because that's
I think
irreplaceable.
the lost stuff would go in before the lightsabers.
The lost
Yeah.
stuff, there's only a couple things. I would take the artwork because that was a very limited run by this artist who did them while the series was going. They did like a dozen of these pieces and they're like
Yep.
it's signed. So
Yep.
that's irreplaceable. The
Yep.
backpack, which is like a screen used backpack and has like actual like it was used filmed on set. It has a couple props in it, like there's rope and stuff. The sand that I have from the Lost Beach camp, the replica of the hatch
air.
key, and this model of Oceanic 815.
Right.
These are the things that would come. And this would just get thrown in the bag and I would just grab that off my wall. That would go.
What about lightsabers?
Just honestly, like if there was room, maybe I would just grab them because they're in cases right now. But realistically, in my head, I was like, the only one I care about having is the one I built, which is like funny because it's the only one that's not, a screen accurate lightsaber.
Right.
And then beyond that, it was like I already have like a binder that has all of our paperwork. It's like the things that I put in the car last night. At like 10 o'clock
I
last
already
night, I
have
was
a
like,
binder that has all my Pokemon cards.
no, no, no. It
We're
has
safe.
no, but like birth certificates, things like
No,
that, like
no, yes,
actual
yes.
documents and information that you need. Marriage license, mortgage,
Stuff that
like
matters.
yes.
Yeah.
No, burn the mortgage.
Yeah, that was the first time I was like, huh, this feels like being an adult, is when it was a moment of realization that I have to buy something that has all of this stuff in it.
Yes.
Like I think when we moved into this apartment was when it really got collated into one concise thing. In fact, we actually even put it next to the door, so if it was a case of we got to grab and go, like this is
Yeah.
coming with us kind of thing, for any reason. Like, like building fire, like who know, you can lose
Yeah.
shit very easily. Yeah.
Does
So-
the Switch
so-
make it?
Yeah.
So immediately, I basically the first thing I did was get the paperwork and put that in the car along with like 2 cases of water, masks, a full bag of Milo's cat food, like
Right.
a litter bag, just some stuff like that, things that are like absolute necessities, cash, like car, like all the things that we absolutely have to have. After that, I would just thought about what stuff would I want to bring, and very quickly realized like I can like fuck all, like whatever, this shit doesn't matter. I want my lost stuff. I'll grab a lightsaber or two. I got a bin with my hard drives, so I just grabbed my hard drives because it has all my information with my laptop. And then other than that, I said to Teresa, I was like, we each get a bin. I have 2 tubs out.
Right.
You have a tote. I have a tote. If we got the evacuation order, we would have a lot of time before the fire, because we would get the evacuation order if the fire broke into the valley, because there was a valley fire that started, but it was a structure fire. So it was that was like easy to contain. The problem with everything that's been happening in LA is we had these 100-mile-an-hour winds for 2 days that were, it made the fire
You couldn't drop the water.
explosive. It was hurricane speed winds, and the fires just literally like flying through the air at objects, just lighting like there's nothing that could be done. And luckily that had slowed down. So the structure fire they put that out very quickly. It was just 2 structures that went down, and it was the Hollywood one. So if the Hollywood one broke into the valley, I was like, we have to evacuate, but we'd have a couple hours. So I was like, I didn't fill them, but I basically had a tote, and that tote would have gotten my consoles. And then, because I already have my computer and hard drives and like the lost bag, like anything else that could fit in there, which may have been another lightsaber or 2. But otherwise, like, I don't know. I don't know. Because at that point, I was like, I already have the main things I give a shit about. And it's funny because I never really got super into collecting stuff. Like, I have some Lego sets. The most things I've ever collected is lightsabers, and I have 8, which is a lot of lightsabers to have, but it's not it's not a big collection.
No.
No. It's not like,
No, I
and
would
the
leave.
lightsabers
I would
are,
leave all of these Legos behind. All this Lego behind.
That's kind of exactly how I felt about that.
Yeah.
And so then it was just like, I would probably just grab picture frames and stuff off the house and fill the tote with the rest of that stuff, and like that would be it. That's it. Done. Boom.
There it is.
It was weird. It was weird to realize how much I didn't give a crap about this stuff. And now I'm very happy that I never started collecting stuff on a large scale, because I'm not the person who's going to get that. Like, Tom, are you going to be like, I got to get all my Power Rangers?
No, God,
like
no.
that's a
All of
lot.
this
Although
shit is
that's
burnt
easy
to the
though, because you
ground.
could just put the bin under there and
No,
just
it's
slide
not.
them in.
It's all getting burnt to the ground. I'd bring yeah, like I'd bring my Switch, but that would be like I'm gonna need entertainment on the road. Like, are you bringing your PlayStation? Like, I'm not bringing my PS5. I'm not bringing my Xbox. Like,
oh no, I would grab my Xbox, my PlayStation, because I'd have time.
Yeah,
but
I'd
like,
grab
I don't need to deal with the cable. It's just fucking unplug it, just rip it out.
I gotta bring.
I was
I'm
more
bringing the
thinking
whole
like an
thing. I
urgent.
gotta
We
be
have
able
to
to
leave
golf.
now, kind of thing. Like,
But if I have to
obviously,
leave
like,
now, then don't deal with you. That's where the cables don't matter, Alex. You just grab the fucking Xbox. Because here's the thing: we're about to have tariffs. Getting an Xbox is going to be like $1,000 soon. You know, you gotta get that.
Super expensive, super fucking expensive. That Switch 2 that we're going to talk about very soon, that ain't going to be cheap.
But yeah, it was weird because it went from Tuesday, like people messaging me being like, it's fine, it's nowhere near us, to then last night the Hollywood Hills fire broke out, and that one instantly everyone was like, this one's different. Because while there are a lot of people that live in the Altadena and Palisades area, that's not, it's different whenever it's like it's putting you in danger. So like while it's been horrible, and I know like friends that have literally lost their house and their business, and like, you know, the most like I was able to do yesterday was like donate and prepare, and it was just kind of like I don't think we're gonna have to prepare for anything, and that's how it felt the whole time until last night when that Hollywood Hills fire broke out, and then it was like holy shit. And we're very lucky that the winds died down when they did, because they were able to stop that relatively quickly, and then by this morning lift evacuation orders. But I mean, look, I'm not telling anyone anything they don't know. Like this is probably the worst environmental disaster California's ever had. It's going to be worse than like, I mean, it's probably going to be, you know, up there with the great earthquake of the San Francisco. But by the way, San Francisco earthquake wasn't an earthquake; it was a fire. Like that was the thing. It was the fires in the San Francisco earthquake that caused all the destruction and death. Yeah. But there's a lot of like really like fucked up political stuff. Like, you know, this year we once again didn't outlaw slavery, which I was kind of hoping we would. Which, you know, the rest of the country also has. It's not like a California unique thing, but that's where a number of our firefighters come from, is from our prisons. And it's and then when they're done with prison, they can't actually go and be firefighters.
Why is that? Why is that?
Because we need firefighters, and because we can pay them $5 an hour.
Oh.
Yep. Just like how in the pandemic they had prisoners in New York making like all your hand sanitizer and stuff. They were producing hand sanitizer. Like, it's just, this is what the state, it's bad. I don't want to get into that stuff right now, because people, like, the fires are still burning. People's houses are still, like, people's homes and livelihoods are still, like, it's awful. It's terrible. It honestly, like, in some ways doesn't totally feel real yet, because I've stayed here at home. So I haven't seen the destruction with my eyes. I have seen places that I've been to. There's this place in the Palisades that everyone knows, the Real Inn. I've been there once before. Teresa and I used to go hiking up in the Palisades a lot. We loved that area. So, I mean, seeing that place burn down is like really fucked up, but I don't have the same attachment to it that other people do. And like seeing posts that my friends are making about like, oh, this is where I first lived and now it's gone. This was the high school I went to. It's gone. This was and it's just like, it's unbelievable. It's so shocking that it's hard entirely to know how to respond to it. So if you're able to donate anything, money, clothes, food, please do, because it's bad. This is a destruction that like a lot of people seem to think that only like rich people live in California, and it's like that is not like
the people who are going to die in this are not going to be the wealthy people that can hire private firefighters. Like they're not. You know, it was funny. I was talking about it because obviously there are rich people. I would say probably being. I mean, there's like tornadoes and shit in Miami, and a lot of rich people live there too. But there are obviously rich people who are being affected, like their houses burning down. There's that shot of the bulldozer through all those very expensive cars. If you've seen
but also, by the way, like humans deserve empathy. Period. Like whether they have money or not.
Right, and that's
because this isn't
we
like
should live in a world
millionaires aren't billionaires.
Case, yes,
you know.
Oh no, they're not the tippy top. We're pulling the strings and making this shit happen. But regardless, I feel like the pursuit of wealth, the people that have these tens of millions, let's say, right?
Sure,
they're on a path to wanting increased resourcing.
Yeah, or they're just an actor who
it could be
made
that.
money.
Yeah, of course. There's a million reasons, but still, this shows that this shit that is happening to this fucking planet, money is not going to save you.
No,
it is not going to fucking save you. You'd have to be a fucking idiot to not have lived through the last couple of years and notice the regularity with which these crazy events that were never happening are now happening, and not think that the climate change is a thing.
Yeah.
And so like that, like, it's awful. It's awful.
It's all terrible.
But in these times, it's been incredible to see people rally together. Like I know a lot of people out in LA, checking in. Fortunately, everyone I know is doing okay, but the people they know are obviously not doing okay. And but people we're not going to clearly be saved by our institutions or our fucking government. And I think the spirit that people have to still find the energy to donate and help out, like, it's been that's been really inspiring and awesome to see. So yeah, if you can donate. Oh, in fact, we're gonna do some of the people here in New York. We're gonna do some charity streams
Oh,
next
cool.
week to raise money. So don't sit. Please just give what you have now. But
Yeah, of
if you're
course.
listening now and it's next
Yeah,
week, we'll be doing these streams. So come
yeah.
join us. Um, I'm glad you're safe, man.
The,
I know I would
Thank you.
wake up and be like, I would check and I'd be like, oh my, I downloaded that app.
I mean, when I texted you guys last night,
Yeah.
like the whole time I kept texting, everyone kept texting me. I'm like, I'm fine. I'm nowhere near this. Like, I was like, everybody's overreact. Like, at least for me, like on a personal,
Yeah.
I'm
For
like,
me.
like, I kept telling people, and then they'd hear more and they'd be like, are you still? I'm like, yep, I'm fine. It's fine. And then last night, when that new one broke out and it was nearby, I texted you guys and I was like, all right, this one's different. This one's pretty scary. This is not good. Just for people to have some context aside, right now, like the two fires are still going. The Palisades fire is 19,900 acres.
That's an insane
Manhattan
size.
is 15,000 acres. Not even. Manhattan's not even. So that fire is larger than Manhattan. And right above it is the new one that started today. It's actually in the valley, but it's near it. It's just north of that one into the valley, but it's also in like the areas that are primarily burning are the ones that are like in hills or near a lot of brush and vegetation because we just have so many like all those hills and mountains while there are a lot of buildings and homes built on them or near them, which is like the Palisades like built up all right next to it as well. There's just a lot of nature that is burning. So it's also like
Yeah.
we also donated to a number of like there's so many animal shelter things and rescues that are going on. But the Kenneth fire broke out earlier today, and now it's at basically 1,000 acres, and that one's in the valley, but it's very far west of us. And then the Eaton fire is 13. So we basically have two Manhattans on fire right now in LA. Like, I mean, again, I did that presentation on LA. It's a very, very large place, but that's insane. Like, it's unfathomable, and I think it's going to take a little while for people like till it's done. We're not really gonna have an idea as like what scale of damage this is actually gonna do.
Is
It's gonna be
there
bad.
a concern that it's gonna pick up? I get like, are the winds coming back? Like,
There's
what's
there's
the
more high speed winds tonight, but they're nothing like they were the other day. So
okay?
like I think they were talking about like 40, 50 mile an hour winds, which is bad, and it's gonna go in through tomorrow, and then that's supposed to be the end of the high winds. But we had 100-mile-an-hour winds on like for like 36 hours. When I went outside, like I had to remove everything out of my deck, and like luckily the way I have my deck set up, um it was like very easy for me to do that. Other people like their shit was just thrown everywhere, and like people didn't like people's umbrellas like flew off and were like on the ground. Like luckily none of them like hit anyone's house and like broke anything.
So I'm
But
curious if you know this,
yeah.
because it seemed that this really came out of nowhere. It was like all of a sudden a large portion of LA is on fire.
Well, we knew
And
we knew we had the high wind warnings for days. I had never heard of the term windstorm, but I had heard of the Santa Ana winds, which are like intense winds. So
were,
that's
were people prepped for this, or was shit on
I mean,
fire and
yeah, we had the high wind advisory, which is basically high. We had a red flag advisory before because we haven't had any rain. We've had like historically low rain since last year after because we had the El Nino La Nina flip, right? The last few years we had just torrential rain every winter. We had so much rain for the last few years in a row and throughout the year that it completely undid the like decade of drought that California had. And
yeah.
now that the El Nino has flipped back, it's the opposite, and it's the opposite at its worst. We've had the least rain that we've had. So we have all of these years of overgrowth where all this vegetation had so much rain and so much extra growth, and now it's all dead and dry. And so you get these high winds. All it takes is like an electrical line or some asshole, and in moments everything's on fire, and that's basically how it happened. It went from a small fire to hundreds of acres in like that, like it was like instantly because it just the winds are just shooting it everywhere. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, if you're, I'm sure we have people also listening who are obviously out there, and anytime any of these fucking disasters strike, but did this? I mean, obviously for you, Chris feels very different, but it really is that because it's it's like every summer you guys get shit, and I know it's very far away usually from you, but like the fact that it's like right there in the
Yeah.
winter is
Yeah.
just like
Yep.
really tough to fathom. So, well, we're just glad you're right.
All right.
You know.
Yeah. Well, I think it's time for the impossible pivot.
Chris, last thought, Tuna, last thoughts.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Oh,
Do you like that
boy.
new sound that I've got?
I do. I mean, it's season 2 of Dexter. You know.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
So I thought, build a better pod. So we have a new segment. The new segment's called Surprise Motherfucker. And it's sometimes I'm just gonna come with something. And if you want to come with something, you want to tell me to hit the surprise motherfucker jingle, that surprise me. Surprise us, surprise the show. So I was thinking about 2025, right? I was thinking about upcoming games in 2025, and I thought, let's put them on a tier. Let's make a hype meter for the video games of 2025. We just talked about the best games of 2024. I put together a small list, not a huge list, Tom, because quite frankly, I think if they're not, and if I miss something, we can add it to this, like if it's really noteworthy enough. But I think I have like probably the majority, if not all, of the most noteworthy games coming out for next year. I'll just read them to you quickly. So if you're like, you definitely need to have this one on, I can add it quick. But otherwise, I think this list is probably good. So I got Pokemon ZA. I've got Metroid Prime 4. And again, not all of these are going to come out, but this is under the assumption that they come out in 2025. Indiana Jones DLC, Outerworlds 2, Fable, Avowed, Doom, South of Midnight, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Monster Hunter Wilds, Hades 2, Split Fiction, Elden Ring, GTA 6, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Marvel 1943, Rise of Hydra, Borderlands 4, and Mafia Old Country. Is there anything that you could think
what
of
about
2025?
what about the It Takes Two guy?
Split Fiction.
It's
Oh,
in
It's on
there.
there. I got it.
All right.
Oh, trust me,
All
that's on there.
Let
right,
me.
here we go.
What
S
else?
tier. Right. Oh,
No. What are you talking about?
What?
Is stuff at the bottom?
This is
More?
just, I just put the game. Yeah, there's more.
No, underneath. Oh, I see. All here. Okay. Um,
This has that stupid
let's start, and
Mario
I'll tell
like
you if we
mouse
need
thing.
to add stuff.
That Mouser
Yeah.
game, which I think is only interesting to people like who are edgelords, and I don't think it's actually going to be a good game. But hey,
Mouse
I'm
PI,
happy to be to
whatever it's
wrong.
called.
Hopefully, I'm wrong. Maybe it's great.
Do you have Metal Gear Solid Delta?
I don't.
If you could add that, please.
I don't. Yeah. Do you want to grab the image and then send it to me in the chat?
what?
Just
Grab
because
the
it's not on here, I don't think, unless you see the image of it, Tom.
Oh.
So I'd have to add it to it. So
Who made this?
I just Googled. I assumed it existed, and someone already had a 2025 games list. So then I just added some games that were missing, like Metroid, Pokemon, Mafia, Indiana Jones DLC. I added some of them.
Let's do this, and then I'll do a little shout out at the end for other
Okay,
things I said,
and then
but
I can
let's
add
just
them
keep
to it
these.
later. And then
Yeah.
I'll add them to it later, because then I can save this, and at the end of the year,
End of the
because I signed
year.
up for the
I
tier
like
maker,
that.
at the end of the year I can pull it up, and then we can rank all the games that did come out and see if they match the hype
I like
meter.
that.
Do they reach the class that we thought they would get? So we've got the S class, A class, B class, C class, and the meh class. We're not going to put anything in the trash class because it's a hype meter. Like, you know, like
Get hyped.
the least hype you can have is no hype, right? We're not going to have anti-hype. So it's
No, anti-hype.
this isn't a review predictor, it's a hype meter. Tuna started it, so let's just get into it. I'm agreeing with Alex. For me, Split Fiction has got to be S class.
Gotta be.
I feel like for the Unranked podcast, I know Tom wasn't the biggest fan of It Takes Two, but I feel like
Unbelievably stupid.
That's it wasn't that I adore that game's gameplay.
Yeah.
Adore it. Incredible.
You played with
I
the wrong
just-
person.
What do you mean?
You can't be playing with the ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, you did mention that she struggled with the gameplay.
But regardless of whether she was struggling or not,
Yeah, but then you
Um,
also went a little too deep into like the relationship aspect of it.
I think that the story was didn't hit in the way that I was hoping it would.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It just wasn't. It felt underbaked. I don't have that concern for this game.
Uh-huh.
I think this game is going to deliver the concept of split fiction is so fucking cool. Like this, Joseph Fares comes every time he's got a game coming out. He's like, I got the best game ever made, and I believe it. You're gonna believe it. It's best game ever made, right? It comes
It's like
out.
it's like a car.
That was actually pretty good,
in the car.
And he can do it. Like when he was hyping up this trailer, they put out a video like the day before the Game Awards. He's like, I'm going to be at the Game Awards. And it's you're going to see shit you never seen before.
He did do that, true.
And
It's true.
He did that. And
He
he's
did do
talking
that.
about it. And
Yeah.
then he comes up and he shows his trailer. And it's the sickest fucking video
It
game
is.
you've ever seen in your fucking life. This is an S tier. It's S. And we're getting
All right.
it in like 2 months.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then let's now at this point, let's just go in order. So we've got I put them somewhat in like publisher. So we got Nintendo, Pokemon ZA.
Yeah.
I think
Why
this
is
is
it
a-
called
Come out soon, right?
ZA is going to be a B for me.
That's what I was thinking
That's a
too.
Yeah, it's
That's
a
a
B.
B.
It's
That's
a
a
B.
Because
B.
we know look, it's going to be on the
I
same
know-
engine, right?
I know
it's
so
gonna be,
little about what it is. Like, is this like Arceus? Like, it seems very different from the.
Well, I think this
little
is
that we've
supposed
had
to be
teased.
Arceus meets Pokemon XY.
Right,
remake?
but is it? It doesn't look like it's set in the past. You know, like it's. What is the gameplay like? What
yeah.
does it look like? I don't know.
Yeah, it is weird.
What they're
That's a
gonna
good
do
point.
with this.
That's a good point.
And
So
that's-
so B is a good place for it then because
that's
we don't know
and
enough.
That raises, but that I think kind of raises my also like excitement of like, oh, I hope they do something interesting with this. Like,
Sure.
I don't want the Legends Arceus to fall, the Legends franchise to fall into the same problem that the mainline franchise has of
Yeah.
where it's so B is good. B is good. B is
Okay.
good.
Metroid
Mhm.
Prime 4 Beyond.
B.
Yeah, I also feel like B.
B.
There's a small
B.
part of me that wants to say A, and let me tell you why.
Okay.
Let me tell you why.
They
me
haven't
tell
done a
you why.
Metroid Prime in a very long time.
That's
And
why
Nintendo-
it's B.
But Nintendo doesn't like to show out with just the same thing again. And when they did Metroid Dread, when they came out with the last 2D Metroid, and when they added stuff to that game like parrying in 2D Metroid, it makes me think, what new shit are they going to add to first-person Metroid? So there's a part of me that thinks this game, like hype-wise, like part of me wants to put it in A, but at the same time, I'm like, they just might not deliver. They might just think like, all right, we made our shooter game. We'll make another one in another 10 years again. And that's it. So I think B
Yeah.
is smart too.
Yeah, I'm not honestly. Personally, I would put C just because I don't have any kind of nostalgia for
Sure.
Prime.
Okay, so then B is good then.
Yeah, B is.
Yeah.
I feel like, but I would say like in terms of industry level hype. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah,
industry is fucking hyped for this. So anyway, B is
Indiana Jones DLC.
good.
Good, solid. Probably an A. It's probably going to be good.
Okay. I'm not looking at this as do I think it's going to be good. I think I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it my excitement level. That's how I'm ranking.
Yeah,
this.
yeah, it's a hype meter. And
I'm
so
I'm hyped on it. I'm in it now. I think it's a good game.
yeah,
I'm
Alex
hyped
is in
if
the
it
meat
comes-
of the story right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the puzzles have been good.
But,
You know.
are you excited?
All right, fine. Put it a B. Put a B then. Put it as a B.
Okay, we'll put it at B. I'll say this, and this is why, like, to me, it's almost S, because because this is coming out after the game, after they get to go fix bugs, and most likely made last as well, right? It's made as an add-on.
Yeah.
It makes you, but it also could be the thing where in development they were like, this isn't good enough. We don't need to put it in the main story. We'll cut this out, right? Like that is a thing that could happen. But assuming it was made with the afterthought of like, we've made the game. If we were doing like, if this is a siloed Indiana Jones experience, but concentrated after they learned what people like and what like best lessons they learned in that game, because that game only gets better as it goes on, this could be the best part of the whole game. Like this could be the best thing in the game, the DLC.
I would love for them to like every year or every other year like give a new sandbox level. Like it's a mini event, it's a mini Indiana Jones story, and it is just like here's a new area,
sure,
and we're going to give you that once every. Like that would be awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think that it is going to be very good. I do, this is not a speak to its quality.
So I'm guessing Outerworlds 2. This is an Xbox game coming out.
Meh.
I'm thinking Tom wants to go pretty high with this. I'm in the
C to meh range.
I would say C because I probably personally say B, but with this it's just I'm way more excited for Avowed from them than I am for Outer Worlds 2. I liked the first Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If Outer Worlds 2 vastly improves on Outer Worlds 1, which has I think some serious kind of first game flaws, if it can iron out all of those, it's going to be a fantastic fucking video game. I'm not convinced that it's going to, so I'm at like a B, but I'm happy if you guys are at C, we can meet in the middle. We can put this at C.
I might play, depending on the game length. Because I'm interested in doing, some RPG stuff, but I don't want anything that's going to be crazy long. So that's why I'm like, Outer Worlds, it's a shorter experience. So I might play it.
The whole concept, Obsidian's whole concept with this and Avowed is like smaller game, and we're going to make it more meaningful.
Yeah,
like the story and character interactions, like they're not. This is them building Bethesda-like RPGs, but like way more focused, way more focused, and so but yeah, definitely.
So speaking of Avowed. I'm personally putting this in A, is where I would like to put this.
I would put it in A as well.
It's fine.
Fable.
Okay, look. I'm going to go with a C. I am...
Whoa! I thought you were going to say S.
No, dude, I am not... I'm like... Okay, hold on. You know what? What would
Richard
you say is
Iowati.
What would you say is the cautiously optimistic? What is the cautiously optimistic ranking here? How about extremely cautiously optimistic? Because
Did
Fable
you play the originals?
Oh yeah.
I had no idea if you guys were into
I was
it.
deep. I was in deep. I hated the ending of 3. I have a bunch. I have a bunch of issues with Fable, but all right, put it in the A. Put it in the A.
Hold on, I'm gonna do this.
Cautiously optimistic. What
is this? Scared to love again. Good.
This is the scared to love again, because all you just did is talk about how theoretically you are so hyped about this game that you're afraid it will disappoint you.
Oh yeah,
he's come back around. The meter has gone up.
Yeah,
and it's a circle, not a line.
Right.
So we're gonna give this the rare but often thought of scared to be loved again score. I think is where Fable goes, which is it's personal for Alex.
I would fall in love again.
It's got Richard Iowati. I love the franchise. I would personally be split on A and S. Myself,
we can't have too much.
The more Richard Iowati a game has, the better.
The better, absolutely,
absolutely. That's how that works.
It's the only thing that could really take Taskmaster to a higher strata is to put Richard Iowati.
Oh my god, I can't believe he hasn't been on it.
He was supposed to be on, and then the COVID happened, and the schedule. But he agreed to do it. So my hope is It's gonna happen.
They gotta get him back.
It's just it's a matter of schedule.
Like the anniversary season.
They got to get him.
Like,
that Harry Hill guy. That guy was fucking hysterical.
He's great.
Harry
super
Hill. It is so fucking insane that your guys' favorite show and a lot of Americans' favorite shows feature like washed up comedians from the 90s. You know, like I know of Harry Hill. I know of Bob Mortimer from fucking like 90s like late night shows.
Yeah, but he was never washed up. Mortimer's been on he's been
Bob Mortimer's one of the funniest men alive.
Yeah. What are you talking about washed up? That guy's been front and center for
in terms of like
life.
This is the twilight of their career. Like,
but then you could say he's been in the twilight for 20 years because he's been on these panel shows for 20 years.
Yeah, he's like weirdly like in a new prime.
But the popularity, I think, of them has the fact that Americans are watching this stuff is insane to me.
Yeah,
like it is so funny that it's found an audience here. But
so
anyway,
funny. You know what it is? Because it's just people talking and like their conversations don't seem fake.
Yeah,
the way that a lot of conversations
it's great
on American TV shows seem fake.
Yeah, they're nonsense.
Like it's like when we watch like the Big Fat Quiz or Cats Does Countdown or Would I Lie to You, like I don't think anything is like planted. Like it just seems natural.
They're not. None of these guys are too big for their britches. They enjoy what they're doing. They like working together. They like doing these shows. Like,
and they just like shitting, like they like shitting on each other and making fun of one another and telling like little anecdote stories that you would never hear a story be like.
Yeah,
the Graham Norton show is the closest you're going to get to an American telling a anecdotal story.
Yes,
like that is natural and seems like off the cuff. Like I feel like that's the only time. Otherwise, Jimmy Fallon, the Tonight Show bullshit. It's all fucking canned.
Yeah, it's all It's
all bullshit.
Dude, yeah, it's awful. Yeah,
sucks. I hate watching those shows. Graham Norton though, love that show.
Like
because Graham Norton's not censored the same way. It's not overproduced.
Yeah. Oh my god! On the Big Fat Quiz of the Year, they literally had the woman that was upside down, topless, with her tits hanging out, and that was just on TV. That's just on TV. And they talked about how she pissed herself and her piss landed up in her collarbone socket area. Like that's the fact that was even talked about was an amazing thing.
It's amazing. It's so good. Our TV sucks.
That was the thing.
Our unscripted TV.
Also, their Christmas specials are so much better than our Christmas shit.
Oh.
Their Christmas shit is so much better over there.
You get Doctor Who, you get Taskmaster, you get Richard Osman's House of Games, you get
Richard Osman's House. I mean, come on. Oh, it's so funny now. Avery knows that like when she hears the theme song, she turns to me and she goes, Dada, watching House of Games again.
No way. That's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Is it in that judgmental tone?
Or she'll just be like, no, she's not that judge. Like House of Games again. Like, I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it is.
That's amazing.
But sometimes she'll just be like, it's House of Games, Mama. It's like because Brittany doesn't care. So Britt's like sitting on the couch and she's like, Mama, it's House of Games. Like while she's sitting there also watching another British show, Peppa Pig. Which I got to be honest with you, I'm very happy that she's getting into because it's like nice and calming and the voices are good. Whereas like before, Blippi, Miss Rachel, all this other crap that was like.
Well, you had Bluey though.
Who?
You had Bluey.
Yeah, but she's still not like she's
still not Bluey yet.
Like Peppa Pig really just took off for her. And she loved like she watched an hour of it last night, and I was like, "Oh, thank God!"
The fun thing about her watching Peppa Pig will be what happens with a lot of kids. There are kids that have like slight accents because they watch so much Peppa Pig, and like my niece and nephew called like the elevator the lift because of Peppa Pig, and so it's just like little anachronisms like that will be funny to say.
One of the she asked me today, she's like, "Dada, you want to watch Peppa Pig with me?" I'm like, "Yeah, all right, I'll watch Peppa Pig. Let's do it."
They should do an episode where Peppa Pig goes on Richard Osman's House of Games.
Yeah.
It'd be great. All right. Doom.
Man.
The Dark Ages. This looked cool.
Man. You got to put something in the meh. We have to put something in the meh.
There's meh coming up.
All right.
Do you understand what this Doom game is?
Doom, S.
It's medieval Doom.
S?
It's
S,
medieval
dude.
Doom.
Did
All
you
right,
not,
fine, put it in the
It's
Tuna, did
Alex.
you not
It's just
play?
Doom. Doom. I've never like.
No,
I
he
did
doesn't.
play.
Did you
He
not
doesn't
play
play it.
Doom or Doom Eternal?
I didn't
He's
play
not
Doom
a
Eternal.
good. He's not good enough at first-person shooters.
Tuna.
He can't handle it. He can't handle it.
God.
This game is S. This game is
All right,
gonna
fine. Put it in the
fucking
S.
rock.
All right, already.
I was personally going to say A, but you know what, Tom? I'll give you the S.
It's gonna rock, dude.
South of Midnight.
Meh.
B for
B.
me, but we can put it C. If you guys
I'll put us. We'll meet in the middle. We'll say C. I was leaning between C and meh.
I just was I was surprised
It
by the
looks
gameplay presentation.
cool.
So I just think I'm very high on that, and
Yeah.
obviously, like, it's a very unique looking game, and the it's telling.
But what
a very
is the actual
unique-
gameplay going to be?
I think it's gonna be. Did you get around to playing that Flintlock game, Chris, at all?
I had started it and then I fell off because
I think it's gonna be like a slightly more polished kind of
okay.
like Souls light, if you will.
Okay.
All
right. Well then,
yeah.
Then C is because it did look cool. It does look visually pretty cool. Go see Yotei.
I mean, personally, S, but I'm happy to go to like an A or a B depending where you guys are at.
I don't care.
Let's go with I didn't play Ghost of Tsushima. So I feel like for me to and Alex doesn't care. So I feel like for the podcast hype list, we got to have two people that agree with the S class for it to enter the S class. You know?
No, I'm fine.
I agree
I'm
with
fine
Doom
it.
Dark Ages.
Like you guys didn't play Tsushima.
But I kind of want to play this one.
Oh, I think you both will play it and be like, "Fuck, this is really fun." If it maintains or builds upon the quality of the first one, which I'm actually thinking of. I'm so close to beating that first one that I want to, and I had never played the DLC.
Tom has like 100 games that are like 70% complete.
70 is where it happens. Because
he goes, all right, I get what you're doing here.
It's still one of the most beautiful well, it's mostly because I want to do everything in these games. Like like Tsushima was one where, and it's been nice. Like it is one that has compelled me to return to it. Like I probably pick it up once every couple of months and put like a good 10 hours in or something like that.
What?
Ever since it's come out. Yeah, just like here and there. And it's such a beautiful world. I'm really hyped on Yotei.
Death Stranding 2.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's an S.
I think this is a B.
But
you think it's an S?
I love the first one. I absolutely adore the first one. So it's for me.
Did you finish it?
Yes, I did actually.
Oh, wow.
All right, then you know what? I'll let him put it in the A
little
class.
more weight.
We'll put it in the A class then.
That carries a little more weight then.
I don't think I'm gonna care for the gameplay of these games. I didn't play the first one, so I can't. But again, that's why it's a hype meter, not a like, is this game good meter.
Yeah. So
for the podcast, it's an A.
Yeah, because we're gonna hear a lot about this. Tom's hyped about it.
Yeah.
It's an A class.
Which
again, it's a hype meter. Like these, arguably, these should scale higher to the top than the bottom. This shouldn't be an even distribution because these are like the biggest games coming out.
And it is a testament to that first game that I put like 80 hours into beating it, and I took a break. I came back to a game. I played it for I was unemployed at the time, so it was a different time, but I was playing it every day for basically like a week straight.
You made your case.
Okay,
yeah.
You made your case.
We can't spend too long on each of these because
we got it, Tom.
There's a lot.
God damn.
But I agree.
What's the next one?
Monster Hunter Wilds.
Meh.
I mean, personally, yeah, I'm low.
Oh, you're low too? All right.
Yeah, I'm just like, I get
Put
what
in
these
the
games are
C.
doing.
Put in the C.
No, I'm cool with meh.
All right.
I'm gonna just guess Hades 2 S class.
S, baby. Get it up there. I can't wait to get my hands on this fucking game.
And you haven't played any of
And
it.
I played none of it.
It's so good, dude. It's so good.
I
It's
am
so good.
hyped beyond belief.
I'm
So
just
Hades-
waiting now for the full release. I decided. I went back into it, started playing, then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait for the final
Yeah,
release.
I got the taste I needed. I
Yeah.
got the taste I needed.
Yeah.
All right. We don't even need to discuss most of it. Next.
Borderlands 4, meh.
I'm meh on this. Yeah. big
I
time.
am.
There
I
is-
was gonna say Scared to Love Again.
I mean,
Okay,
that's
actually,
fair.
you know
Scared
what?
to Love Again.
You know what? I think that's right because I heard something about who's the writer of this game.
I have no idea.
Like we loved Borderlands 1 and 2.
And 2. And 2. 2 was yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Scared to Love Again.
I like that.
Yeah. All right. Civ. Right? Is that next?
Yes, Civ 7. That's a
never-
meh. Do you
I've
play
never
Civ,
played a
Tom?
Civ. No, I don't really care about Civ games.
I played a chunk of 6 at the time. It was really easy. I never played online or anything, but it's really easy to win if you just play as America because they get, which is funny, they get access to gunpowder first, which is weird. But once you get gunpowder, you just crush and kill everything. So yeah, I'm meh. Yeah, I'm probably not.
Seems like
play
a game
it.
I would probably like.
I'm just.
But
gonna
also,
skip.
every time I've tried, it felt impenetrable, and I just bounced off of them. So that's meh
interesting? What is interesting about this one is they've talked a lot about the fact that Civ 6 became really popular when it came to Switch, and so they've built it around being very friendly to like using it on the Switch.
Oh, that's good because everyone's got portable game consoles now.
I think it will be the most accessible. Like I think it'll be a good game for people that like it. Am I going to be interested in it? No.
All right, I'll keep it in meh for now, but maybe I'll end up being excited by it. All right, Elden Ring Night Rain. I think hype wise, it's not. I personally think it's a B.
I think it's A only because I'm expecting
we're gonna have a good time.
That the three of us are playing together.
That's the.
If this was coming out by itself with no co-op, and I was gonna just play it by myself, it would go low. But because we have said that we are playing this game to completion,
which Tom, we will have to do if we start it, because we'll never hear the end of it if we don't.
I just don't know. I don't know enough about what this experience is, that what is completion for this experience. You know what I mean? Because it's a multiplayer focused. Like, is there going to be a story? Like, what's the story? Like, is there going to be a story that we can complete? I don't know. We will enjoy this, and if there is a story, I bet we do, because the gameplay will be so good. It'll make for so much fun moments of us fucking yelling at each other. Like, this is perfect. Very excited for this, but mainly not because I want more Elden Ring, but because the three of us can play.
Correct.
Captain America, what is this? Captain America versus Black Panther, 1943.
Rise of Hydra.
Rise of
Marvel,
Hydra,
1943. Yeah, probably.
It looks great, but I'm not going to get myself excited about it.
We haven't seen gameplay. That's the big thing that is really holding me back. Like, we know nothing about what the moment-to-moment gameplay is going to look like. I am more excited, honestly, to play a fucking Amy Hennig game after 15 years. She worked on the original Uncharted trilogy, and then for years she was
she worked on the Star Wars game, and it got canceled, and then
it was cancellation after cancellation of her projects, and it's
just getting bounced around the industry.
Years since she's put out a game, although she did work partly on Uncharted 4 prior to it kind of getting reworked. So yeah, I'm excited for that reason. And I think it's a cool concept, but maybe if I'd seen gameplay it'd be higher, but no, B is good.
Grand Theft Auto 6, S class.
by default. Like
Yeah.
there's
It's the
nothing.
it's if
It's
and this,
the
that's a
game.
crazy thing to say, but even more than Split Fiction and Hades 2, like if there was a S class for the S class, it's Grand Theft Auto. Like it is the most anticipated game
It's ever,
of yeah.
ever.
Yep.
Have you? So I remember not I don't really use Reddit much, but for some reason I get notificate like I mean, anytime I open it, it opens to the Grand Theft Auto Reddit on the app. The people in that subreddit are working themselves in knots for this fucking video game. Someone shared an image. Someone shared the trailer for the game,
Hmm.
the only one we've gotten, which is the cinematic, and they were like, I've watched this so many times, I've just started watching it flipped because it brings a different vibe to the
Fuck.
trailer. And people are like, dude, this is mental illness. This
I remember like
is
that when I was younger, I would rewatch trailers all the time. But
oh
the
dude.
last time I watched a trailer, like I definitely watched a trailer more than once, but not a crate. But like
The
when
GTA 6
when the first teaser for
oh
Breath of the Wild
dude.
came out and Link like shoots the thing off the like that was unbelievable. But that's probably the last, other than GTA, that's probably the most recent trailer that I was like
The
blown away by.
the final
Mm.
the most recent trailer for me, you bring up Breath of the Wild, was the Tears of the Kingdom trailer, mainly because the
Sure.
music in the very final one, where like it's like, if you remember it, like Zelda says like, Link, like we look to you or whatever, and the fucking orchestra comes in, and like it's the and it's the arrangement. I thought like the main theme for Tears was the best Zelda theme we've ever
Yeah.
gotten, and like they introduced it in that trailer, and I just remember like the week leading up to that game coming out, I was just watching that thing on repeat. It was so good. But yeah, the GTA 6 trailer, talk nothing to talk about.
And we only got two left. I'm guessing Mafia: The Old Country goes to meh.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wanted to include it on this list because it's one of those games that I look at and I go, this actually could be sick, but I'm not going to be hyped about it at all. This is like, I'm going to wait to hear what impressions are, and that will determine whether or not I play this game at all. So that's absolute meh. And Assassin's Creed Shadows, I personally around B. I don't know where you
It got
guys are. You
delayed
guys
again.
A,
No,
B,
I'm Assassin's
are you
Creed. You
C?
know,
You love
I
them.
would honestly, I'd
I
honestly
do
say
love them. I do love. I mean, I do, but
It's going to
I'm
be
you know,
not.
I think
Japan.
it feels like they've lost their luster.
Does
Ubisoft
this one has
is in
co-op though,
fucking
right,
disarray.
Tom?
We'll put
I
it
don't
B.
think so. I
Put
don't
it
think
B.
it does.
Put it B.
That's too bad.
Yeah, it'll put it at B. I think that I'm not hyped to play it. I will
All
play
right.
it and I will enjoy, I'm sure, what I get out of it, but it's clear to me that like, I mean, the problem is Ubisoft is fucking in disarray right now.
Yeah.
They are like I don't know what they're fucking doing, man. It's fucking crazy. Okay, well, while you save that, I'm gonna give some shout outs here to other games I'm excited for, and you let me know if you guys feel the same way. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. This is the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3. Looks great. Excited to play. There's this game called The Alters that I don't think either of you know about, but it's basically a sci-fi survival game where there's this cloning experiment that's gone wrong, and so the kind of like hook is that you have to, in order to build out your like survival station and like recruit the characters that you recruit to help you are clones of yourself, and you have to like bioengineer them and find things to change their like DNA in order to like, okay, it's gonna be me, but like if I was an engineer, it's me, but if I was a thing. It's called The Alters. It looks very cool. We previewed it last year at GameSpot, and Jake, who previewed it, came back very impressed. So I'm very intrigued by this looking one. Claw Obscure Expedition 33. This is that very weird turn-based RPG that we saw at the either SGF or the Game Awards this year. I think Charlie Cox is the main character in it. It looks really cool. The concept seems cool, where there's this witch or something, and she scrolls on a tree like a number, and everyone that age will die that year. And it's these people who are 33 years old, and like they go on this like quest to stop her or whatever. Looks weird, looks cool.
Yeah.
Judas, that has not received a year, but Google is putting 2025. It may come out this year. This is the Ken Levine.
That's how I feel about Jurassic Park 5 too. It's not necessarily in Jurassic Park Survive. I didn't put it in 2025 list, but if it comes out, if it comes out this year, but it hasn't been given a year, so I didn't put it on the list.
That is the one that's like set like 10 minutes after the movie or something, and you just do the same stuff. That's awesome.
I mean, who cares? I'm into it.
No, it's cool. It's such a smart concept. Yeah, I would say honestly, other than that, you hit the big ones. I'm sure there's obviously tons of like little indie things that are coming out that will ultimately like be on our end of year list, but from everything that's been announced, I mean, we just have so few release dates, you know?
Yeah. Well, I guess we know what time it is. Do you know what time it is for now? What segment we're doing? No?
Leaving?
On a jet plane. We got to talk about the Switch.
What the fuck?
We just got to talk about the Switch.
I thought that was the end of the episode.
No, we got to talk about the Switch. I mean, Alex, in my opinion, if you had asked me how long it was going to take to put 20 games onto a tier list for hype, I would have said 15 minutes.
That took 45 minutes, maybe an hour.
It took 40 minutes, but much longer than I thought. So let's talk about news. We got to talk about the Switch too. I'm into this mouse thing, dude. I'm into this. I'm into the controller. Why?
Because when am I going to be doing that?
What do you mean, when are you going to be doing that?
What am I going to do? I'm going to put it on my leg? I'm not going to be sitting at my desk playing
Sitting at a table? There's games. Here's the thing. There's a lot of games on PC, right? That you bring into Switch, you got that mouse. Those games are going to be a lot better. Mario Paint, Mario Maker. There's a lot of stuff that like, wow, this would have been a lot better
I've ever played
if I had a mouse.
All right, look, my height meter for the mouse.
On the mouse. Yeah.
Is at a C.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's not in the meh. It's at a C.
I gotta at least give it a C. I gotta give it a chance, right? Because Nintendo do what Sega don't, or whatever.
I mean, look, dude, control wise, right? We're playing like a first person shooter. Give me the mouse.
Nintendo do what Sega don't.
I wonder if we'll see, Tom. I wonder if you'll be able to play Metroid Prime 4 with the mouse control instead of doing the gyro. Because the gyro worked well on the Wii for Metroid Prime 3 because it didn't use the gyro, it used the infrared, and so it used it like a 3D mouse. So if they let me use the mouse now on the new Joy-Con, right, I'm into it. I think it's brilliant. I think for first person shooters, it's fucking amazing. They're gonna have some way better than motion control. Way cooler than motion control.
Honestly, the big thing for me is that there are more and more leaks coming out that this thing will actually have an OLED screen.
Yes, I saw that as well.
LCD,
yeah, that it's going to have an OLED.
Honestly, like you can take your mouse. You
can take your mouse and shove it up your ass, but
if
give me that OLED.
2, if they reveal the Switch 2 and it has an OLED panel, it's an S tier hype. I am so stoked.
If it has an OLED panel, what do you think? $400? I think it's going to be $400.
Well, depending on the tariff situation, I think they'll charge.
Oh, $500 with tariffs.
I mean, it may be. I don't know. Like, who knows?
When is the iPad getting an OLED?
What are you talking about?
The iPad's had an OLED forever.
Wait, it hasn't had an OLED forever.
Whoa. Really?
No, it hasn't. But the latest iPad Pro has an OLED. It was micro LED for.
Oh, that's what it was. It was micro
multiple
LEDs.
years. Like,
wait, do I have? How do I know if I have an OLED?
I guess you don't.
The latest iPad Pro?
No.
Then you don't have an OLED.
I just assumed it was, Tom, because the phones had OLED for so long.
The phones have had OLEDs for a very long time, yes.
I assumed that the Pros did on the iPad. Oh,
God,
but it's micro
because
LEDs.
my iPad is basically like how I watch almost anything now. So
that sucks.
Dude,
you have an OLED. You have an OLED TV. Why are you watching everything on the iPad?
Because I could lay in bed.
You gotta be next to the woman while she's asleep. slumbering. So OLED panel potentially. I mean, look, here's the thing.
I'm
It
into
was
it.
always just going to be a Switch 2. It was always going to look like a Switch. I don't need you to rock the boat.
I mean, the way these Joy-Cons go in, that is cool.
Oh
I
yeah,
like the new
the
Joy-Cons.
Mag adaptation. If oh my god,
Yep.
can you imagine if they put Hall effect sticks? They won't.
Yeah, they're not
But
going to. They
imagine
want to
if they
sell you as
did.
many of them as they can.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're actually gonna make them break much easier this
Yeah.
time. Like you thought it was easy to get,
And they're
drift
more
on the last
expensive now.
one. Yeah, and the magnets. These are magnets. No one's ever seen these
Yeah.
magnets. Yeah. I mean, what other leaks are there?
Well, there's
So,
that, like, there's the
there's a
official
render.
rendering that got leaked of it as well. And instead of it being two-tone, like what they did with the red and the blue, they just had blue around one analog stick and like orangey red around the other analog stick on the inner
Right.
ring. But the rest of it was like a dark gray, blackish
It's like
color.
it's like almost like a really dark blue. It's got like a little blue in there too. I don't know if this color that I'm seeing is corresponding to what it looks like in the end, but I like this color. Like I like this. Biggest screen, obviously 8.4-inch. We've known for a while. It seems that like width wise, it's going to be like if you took another Joy-Con and put it on one end of a Switch with two Joy-Cons, it's going to be about that wide, seemingly. So a little bit bigger than the last one. I
Oh, the
think
rumor
that,
is it's going to be revealed next week. There was a
no.
post earlier today from Nintendo. It said, "Will you be picking up Donkey Kong Country Returns HD next week?" And they capitalized the S for Switch, and then a lot of people in games media are quoting it or applying it and doing like winky faces and stuff. So people are suggesting it's coming next week. Who knows? But
There you go.
maybe not.
Seems that the USB-C port will be on the top. Well, I mean, I
No,
think
there's a
it's been
second
it's
USB-C
two,
port on the
right?
top, which might
There's
be
one
used
on
for
top and one on
accessories
bottom.
like a camera. Which it's like, really, you don't just have a fucking camera built into this thing? But I guess maybe they couldn't because of the OLED. But like,
Yeah, for a Game Boy camera, hook up to the Game Boy camera.
yeah, who knows? Oh, never mind. That thing, that release, the announcement got debunked already. I'm trying to like catch up in real time.
Yeah,
Watch
I'm
it
trying
go
to as
from
well.
people being hyped to people being like, never mind. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wanted to bring it up for the mouse because the mouse is the only thing that's different, right? Like this console has to do one thing other than just being a Switch Pro. Like that's the thing. Nintendo wasn't going to put out a new Switch without it doing something different, without it just being a Switch Pro. And the mouse controller was the thing that made me immediately be like, first of all, brilliant. Second of all, this is like actually happening. I think it's brilliant. I think it's brilliant.
Okay.
All right, so here is
Tuna's
a
just
good
worried
list.
because
We'll
he's
walk
already
through.
not good enough at
doesn't wanna love
first-person
again.
shooters to play Doom, and now he's gonna have to contend with people having mouse controls on Switch,
Yeah, fucking playing Metroid Prime,
which he can't do because he has
for-
to do legacy controls, so he can't use a
Oh
mouse.
god, what a fucking
I've
weak-ass
actually I
fucking
tried
gamer
that.
this
That's I
guy
hate
is.
that the WASD.
Well, it wouldn't be
control, like, with the
WASD; it would
mouse.
be
I would
analog
love
stick
to- I
mouse.
would love
So you do
to have
analog
to-
stick one hand, mouse the
I
other.
would love
That's
to
stupid.
watch a stream where Tuna has to like play Halo or something, but with like
Mouse-
mouse and keyboard. I
mouse
would
and keyboard.
love to see that. Okay, so here's a little quick rundown of everything we know so far about Switch 2. Is this what it looks like at CES this year? This is from CNET. At CES this year, Peripheral Maker Genki showed off what looked like an entire mock-up of the Switch 2. Switch 2 is bigger. It will be backwards compatible with the Switch. Nintendo has already confirmed that as well. So yes, it will play your old Switch games. Report renderings of Nintendo's next-gen console appeared on Reddit in September. Images show a console looks a whole lot like current Switch. According to the report, the console will have an 8-inch screen, USB-C ports on both. Yeah, accessories as you people are speculating. I don't know if it's speculation, but they'll do some kind of like glasses, like almost like those X-Real.
Oh, they're
like,
gonna do. Oh, okay.
Yeah, something like
Do
that.
some XR
maybe.
glasses. Okay.
Yeah, some
Dude,
AR.
Walkabout Mini Golf. Put some kind of VR glasses on there. Let me get Walkabout Mini Golf on the Switch.
With the Joy-Con. Fuck yeah.
Then they can make a Nintendo level. Give me a Pokemon Walkabout Mini Golf course.
And then obviously, yeah, it looks like, according to Digital Foundry and others, an NVIDIA T39 processor looks to be the likely chip inside the next console. This chipset's notable features include ray tracing and PlayStation 4 level or better graphics, along with faster load times.
Great.
Yeah,
there we go.
We will hear about it soon, for sure.
Great. Well, that's it for the Switch 2.
That's the music Tuna one over here.
Motherfucker.
I'm just kidding. I have another. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you so much for joining us. It's the second episode of 2025. Good luck to everyone else that's out here in LA. You know, gonna stay on top of that. If you're able to donate, spread a message, do anything to help. Thank you for that. We'll be back here. Same time, same place, same Unranked. So until then, everybody, stay unranked. Here we go.